Welcome back to KTN News Day. So we expect over 1 million students to report to secondary schools as from today. And our reporter Ibrahim Karanja now joins us from Nakuru with more details. Ibrahim Karanja, good morning. So I understand you're at Jomo Kenyatta Secondary School. Kindly give us more updates in terms of the numbers of students who've reported and how the situation has been like since morning.
Good afternoon, Brenda. Yes, I am at the Jomo Kenyatta Girls High School in Bahati, Nakuru County. And those details about the number of students who have reported, the senior principal here, Jane Wanja, tells me that about 300 students are so far expected. Of course, you can see what's happening behind me is that lots of new students, Form 1 students with their parents, waiting to be admitted, all of them with what we can see, boxes, mattresses, and every other pre-admission requirement that they were asked for, to come with. The principal tells me that there are those who didn't come with any or who lacked some, and I'll engage her right now. Senior principals, thank you so much for speaking to us. How many learners were you expecting in the first place?
Allowed 350 Form 1s. Yes.
And so far, what would you say the turn-up?
The turn-up is quite good, and they have continued to come. They started reporting from 8 a.m., and the process is still going on. Throughout the week, they will continue coming. Some of them have said they are stranded because of some issues of money. So we expect them to continue flowing throughout this week. Yes.
Throughout the week, has there been perhaps any challenge you have encountered, especially looking at admission during COVID-19, especially a new variant? What any challenges that you might have encountered?
The challenge is the congestion in the dormitories. And we are even trying to improvise a dormitory because we don't have enough. We are accommodating some of the Form 1s in the library hall. The classrooms is an issue. We don't have enough classrooms. This school, after the Form 1s come, we shall be going to offer about 1,250 students. We don't have the facilities, yet so many students, so many parents wanted to bring the children here. I believe it's because of good performance, because even this year we improved. We took 88 candidates, C+ and above, to university. We had 7.32, and that was an improvement. Yeah. Then the classrooms, we have even come up with a Mabati classroom. That's where we are going to accommodate some of them. So if we are assisted, we believe that the challenge of classrooms and the dormitories will be solved through the facilitation. We know the CDF, we are enjoying good political will here. Mheshimiwa anatusaidia sana. In the year 1920, he supported us, and he even posted...
2020.
2020.
All right.
He supported us. We had a very successful fundraiser. We got 21 million, and we constructed a multi-purpose hall. This one is helping us a lot because we are able to do the dining hall, the meetings, so many things we are doing there.
Asante sana. Of course, we'll continue this conversation. And you've mentioned of the many requests that are needed, and also know about the learners, perhaps, who were not able to raise fees.
Yes.
And you've mentioned about the political will. Mheshimiwa, what the principal is saying about the school not being able to cater for all the students because, of course, the demand is high. And secondly, about the learners who were not able to join due to fees. I understand that you're paying for them.
Well, we are trying so much at the sister, she has just said here. That time, we had the same pressure, 2019. We had a big pressure. It's when I came and did the Harambe. And I want to thank the president. He gave me 1 million. And the deputy president, William Ruto, also gave me 1 million. Then the others with the parents, we raised. Then we had about 21. We raised that money. And also the minister helped us by that time through the president. But now, again, there's a big pressure. Actually, the children who are supposed to come here is about over 400. And over 400, they are so congested. And some people refer all the time the CDF. This money dividing in the schools I have 38 secondary school. Primary, I have 45. So dividing in the wards sometimes is a challenge. But I would urge the government, the ministry, to assure there are some schools, because they are the ones who are sending people. Here, the students. And when they send them, they need to know how are they going to be accommodated, not just to send them, but accommodation is very important.
Accommodation is
like now I'm very happy because I've come here to check. I've gone to several schools. Mask, sanitizing, this school is good.
Right.
And our school which I've gone, I've seen they are very good. And today I've just brought them the check of the bursary of the poor. The poor who could not be able even to pay anything, I have provided. Every year I do that. And today that's why I come here. They are single mothers. Kuna watoto wengine mayatima kabisa. And that's what I'm trying to do. Today, in general, I've given 30 million of the bursary in my constituency. To Form 1 and Form 2 who have been there. And the rest we had given before. But the total is coming 30 million. And it is good money, but we appeal to Makoha and to the government. Please, take care of this school. I divided this school from the boys and girls, and now it's working so well.
Mheshimiwa, of course, we'll continue with this conversation. Allow me to speak to our parents and Alana very briefly. Mzazi, naomba nizungumze nawe katika KTN News. Ni mwanzo wako pengine kuleta wanafunzi katika shule hii imekuwa vipi haswa katika shughuli nzima ya admission, and how was the entire cost kutoka kwa ile pre-admission requirements hadi hapa kwa sasa mambo ya fees?
Ya kwanza ni kusema tumeshika shule hii ni mzuri kwa watoto kufanya vizuri kwa sababu ni shule mzuri, tena wale wanafanya kazi hapa walimu ni wazuri, wanafanya kazi yao vizuri, na ndio tumeamua tutoke mji wa Naivasha ndio tulete watoto wetu hapa ndio wasome kwa hii shule ya Jomo Kenyatta Girls, na tunashukuru kwa sababu tunasikia inafanya vizuri, pia tunasikiaga ina discipline, ina mambo mazuri inayofanya huku, na walimu wanachunga watoto wetu.
Unaweza sema nini kuhusu ile process ya kutafuta admission? Najua ilikuwa ni through the system. Kwako unaona kama ilikuwa fair?
Ilikuwa nzuri sababu walikuwa wameturushia vizuri makaratasi zote na wametuambia vile tutanunua vitu za watoto, na ndio tumekuja kwa hii shule tumelete zile vitu.
Gharama kufikia sasa imekuwa vipi?
Gharama ni kubwa kwa sababu kama wasichana unajua kuna vitu zingine wanatumia si kama boys, na wazazi nimejua wamelia kwa sababu wamenunua vitu vya pesa mingi kwa sababu zile vitu ni pesa mingi. Kuanzia kama vile tumelipishwa shule, tusemi tunaomba serikali yetu ituangalilie maslahi kwa sababu sisi hatuna nguvu.
Asante.
Haya.
Asante mzazi, pingie kwa sekunde 30 mtoto wako yuko wapi, pengine nieleze miaka 4 zijazo anatarajia nini? Ako mbali kidogo Haya, asante. Very briefly.
And it is national. Mimi nauliza Makoha na Mutahi Kagwe. Wasishike wazazi today. Let it be open. Wazazi wametoka Rodwa, wametoka Kajiado, wametoka Mombasa. How do they go back? And hii mambo ya 10 o'clock. Please, let it be open the whole country because of the parents. So that the parents can go home without stress. They are stressing here, and after that, wanaenda kushikwa na barabara. Please, I appeal to the president. Please, leo iwekwe open kwa wazazi. And I'm asking also the madam, try to speed up. Ndio tuone kama wataweza kumaliza.
Right, so that is the area member of parliament talking to my colleague Ibrahim Karanja, and the major request he's having for the government is just to lift that curfew of 10 p.m. so as to allow parents who've travelled far and wide to have their children admitted in different schools to report to school, to go back home without being arrested past the curfew time. So Ibrahim Karanja was getting information right there from the Jomo Kenyatta Secondary School in Nakuru County. But then, let me bring in a man who's been following up on education matters here on KTN, and that is Shadrach Miti on the education beat, and joins us live from our city centre studios. Shadrach Miti, good morning. So today we're expecting 1.1 million students to report to school, but this is a mere disappointment for several of them because they're not reporting to school that they wanted. And also the issue of infrastructure is actually something that head teachers are raising a concern about.
One of the biggest challenges that is facing this year's Form 1 admission is number one, lack of school fees, because we are operating within a very depressed economy thanks to COVID-19 that has been ravaging the entire world up to this moment. And we know as we speak, whereas parents and some children are celebrating for making it to Form 1, there are others, many others, thousands of them, if I may say, who may not make it to school because of lack of school fees. And the categories of these learners range from national to even sub-county schools, because there are specifics that they are supposed to buy, but they haven't done that. And we've been getting reports since last week of parents who are stuck. They're completely stranded. They cannot even buy a single requirement to make sure that by today the children are getting to school. But the biggest challenge again, now that this one shifts to the school management, we are operating in an environment that is, we are always sing the song of COVID-19 protocols. And we know very well that in the spirit of 100% transition, we know there are some schools that have been forced to admit children who are beyond the capacity that is recommended. So that if a school is supposed to admit, for instance, 250 students, it may require to admit 50 or 100 more. And that one makes it very difficult for such schools to ensure and operate within the protocols of COVID-19, which key to them will be social distancing. We know very well that previously the Minister of Education has alluded to the fact that for as long as children are well masked, the issue of social distancing may not be in so much need. But it will pose a challenge because these children, they are being crowded in an area that is not well furnished, and so that one makes it very dangerous. But most critically, we know very well that just a handful of teachers out of 340,000, I think it's below 90,000 that have received both the first and second COVID-19 vaccination. And so that one makes it a bit difficult on the bit of infrastructure, because not so many schools have had the chance to build more classrooms. Not so many schools have had a chance to build more dormitories, and it's even more difficult realizing that the government, as we speak, has not released capitation funds for this year, the new academic year that begins this week. That is the 2020-21 academic year. The only money that came to school was for the 2020 academic calendar. And the expectation of the government is that teachers and school managers will continue using the balance that they have carried forward from the 2020 academic year to meet some demands in this academic year. And that one poses a big challenge on school managers and principals and head teachers. And so it will be a very big issue for head teachers and various school administrators to ensure that learners would continue getting their education in a safety environment, in a safe environment, whereas making sure that teachers again are not exposed to the danger of contracting COVID-19, given the low numbers that have so far been vaccinated. And so a huge balancing act that will be required of school managers, the government, and even parents. Back to you, Brenda.
Right, Shadrach Miti, thank you for that in-depth explanation on what is happening today, even when it comes to teachers, head teachers who are responsible for admission of the 1.1 million candidates. Actually, students are reporting to the secondary level today in different parts of the country. So, another short commercial break here on a KTN News Desk. But when we come back, we shall be crossing over live to my colleague in Embu, that is Moige William, just to